If you're a guy who's learning game, who's learning about dating, who's working on his dating life, going out on constant dates, meeting different girls, there's something you need to be careful of. Now, I've had my fair share of dates and I've compiled a list, and this list is going to help you spot a gold digger. Now, of course, if you're a guy who's working on himself, you're definitely the top 1% of the people who's even aware about all of this, who's aware about working on his social and dating life. Now, once you're doing that, you're going to interact with a lot of people, and you need to be careful because you don't know what's the intention of the other person. And a lot of times, if you're a new guy who's getting into game, who's interacting with girls, you might just enjoy the validation that you're getting from the girls, but you're gonna get tripped. You're gonna get tripped by the girls who have ill intentions or who just want to use you for your money. And definitely, if you're a guy who's working on this, you want a girl who's there for you. Not because of the money you have in your pocket, not because of your social status, who's actually there for liking you as a person, who you authentically are, instead of the money in your bank account. Now, have you ever met a woman, and I'm sure you have if you've been going out on dates, a woman who generally doesn't like to pay for anything? And she has this mindset that, okay, if I'm going out on a date with a guy, the guy should always end up paying. Now, guys, I don't want to sound cheap, all right? It's okay if you take the first date, but if you're going out on multiple dates with a girl and she never opens a wallet, she never gives her card, and she's not even interested in splitting a bill once, then definitely it's a telltale sign that she is a gold digger. This has also happened with me once. I met this really cute girl and I went on the first date. I paid on the first date. I was like, okay, it's the first date, you take the next one. The next date comes, I pay for the next date. Third date comes, I pay for the third date. Now I'm just thinking, when is she gonna, offer? And she never offered. She never offered. And guys, another thing is, all the girls who gold diggers are going to be extremely ungrateful because they're used to getting things their way. They're used to men splurging on them. Funny enough, I was talking to one of my girlfriends and she was telling me how it's so easy to just go to any 5-star hotels, book the spa weekend, and all she needs to do is download Bumble. She doesn't even have to have sex with the guy. The guys are offering things on the go. And I checked her Bumble and I was amazed seeing how many things guys were offering her. All right. And anyone in that position, if you want to exploit someone, that is the best position to be in. And I have met girls in the past who just download online dating because they want to go on a free lunch. All right. The girl tells me that, hey, I downloaded Tinder because I wanted to go out for a free dinner. I wanted to go out for partying and I didn't have any money. So I just wanted to find a guy who would pay for everything. And with that kind of a mindset, you have to understand, you have to spot these kind of girls even before you get into something or you get attached, and you need to cut this shit out of your life because this is not what you're looking for. And also, maybe you meet a girl who has expensive taste. You meet a girl who has expensive taste, right? She buys all the luxury brands, she goes to the best of places. She never ends up paying for any of those. Now, I met this girl, all right? This was a Bumble match, and this was a couple of years back. So this girl tells me, hey, I'm booking a place for us. I'm gonna book a table for us in this restaurant. At that time, I didn't have a very good screening process. So I didn't screen it. I didn't tell her, okay, which place are you booking? I just told her, sure, go ahead, book the place for 2, and I'm going to see you in the evening. So she books the place, Ophelia. This is an Ashoka hotel, and it's a very expensive place in Delhi, all right? Now, I went on the date, and it's all right. Even if it's an expensive date, if the girl is pretty, we both are paying, we both are splitting, it doesn't matter. But I went on the date, and the girl, she seems to have expensive taste, but she doesn't seem to know anything about fine dining. It was a fine dining place, all right? The waiter comes in, he's like, hey, ma'am, you want to check the water? And the girl is completely blank. She's never been to such a high-end place. All she wanted to do was experience this place for the first time. And I was the guy who matched with her, unfortunately, right? I went to that place, and guys, the fucking waiters over there, they know how to upsell shit. Before the drink was even finished, they're like, ma'am, what can I get you next? Ma'am, what can I get you next? And funny enough, I was sitting over there, we ordered a shisha, we ordered 2 drinks, we ordered a pizza. The bill was up to 15,000. The bill was up to 15 fucking grand. I asked the waiter, hey man, how much is the bill? He's just coming regularly to the table for the upsells. And at that time, I just tell the girl, hey, why don't we just go? Why don't we just go somewhere else and we split this? She's like, I just have $500 with me. And I'm just looking at her face. I'm like, what the fuck? And of course, I have to pay at that point of time. But I never wanted this situation to come again in my life. And that's why I have a good screening process now. So guys, understand, you need to build a good screening process if you're meeting random girls off the internet. Because at the end of the day, you really don't fucking know what their underlying intention is. So at that point of time, I pay the bill and I'm telling the waiter, hey man, you have good upselling skills, but please do not come to this table again. I dropped the girl home, and guys, at this point, I didn't even want to get laid. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I got tripped, and this was after years and years of experience. So if this can happen with me, definitely this can happen with you as well. And also, this reminds me of another scam that happened with one of our clients. So we made an online dating profile for this guy, all right? The profile worked. And I got a call at 1 a.m. I'm getting a call at 1 a.m. This is not the time to call anyone, right? So he calls me, I cut the call. He calls me again, I cut the call again. He calls me again, And I'm like, what the fuck, right? I pick up the call and I'm like, okay, hey man, what's up? This is not the right time. Maybe we should talk tomorrow. He's like, man, I got ripped. I'm like, what do you mean you got ripped? He's like, man, I just matched with a girl. She told me come to this hotel. All right, I went to the hotel with her and she's like, hey, why don't you just pay me some money so I can book the room? I don't want to go with you because I feel that people are going to judge us. People are going to do that. She takes the money from the guy. She goes in the hotel and fucking disappears. It's a 5-star hotel. So there's, I think multiple exits maybe, or maybe she's in the restaurant, maybe she's in the washroom hiding. I don't know, right? So the guy calls me. He's like, I just lost 10,000 rupees because of you. I'm like, because of me? Man, come on. You should be more vigilant. You should do your due diligence. Instead of going out there handing some girl the money to just go in and book the hotel room. I mean, don't be so dumb. All right, book the hotel room using an application if you want to book the hotel room. Don't be so dumb to hand over 10K to a completely random person off the internet and trusting her and just staying outside waiting for her to call you. The girl never called. The girl disappeared. She changed her number and this was an ongoing scam. This happened with a couple of clients. So guys, understand if it's too easy, it's probably a man or it's probably a scam. Now, another way of spotting a gold digger is knowing her friends. Once you go and once you meet her friends, all right, that is the time you'll get to know whether she's a gold digger or not. If her friends are always talking about the most expensive things that they're getting from guys, or they're just valuing money over character, then you know what kind of people they are. And definitely she's also going to be like her crew. She's also going to be a gold digger if she's surrounded by people who are just talking about money, who just value the most expensive things that they're getting from men, who make it a competition, right? And this is what I've seen also in a gold digger group. I met this girl, I went to meet her friends, and all they're talking about is how this guy from Bumble gave her this expensive ring, how this guy from Bumble booked her flights for France, how this guy from Tinder, did this and did that. And again, if all these girls are talking about all of this all throughout the time when they're spending with each other, she's definitely going to be similar to them. She's not going to be extremely different. She's not going to be a fucking unicorn. So stop imagining that and also be aware. If she's a girl you just met and she's very curious about your financial situation, she's very curious to know how much you earn. All right. She's asking you at each and every point, oh, how much do you make? How much did you make last month? How much did you make this month? If you're into a business, if you're into a job, she's very keen on knowing what your salary package is, what your job position is, because at the end of the day, a gold digger is going to vet her target. She's going to see, she's going to observe the target. She's going to even see whether it's worth it for her to invest the time. And this is the vetting process of the gold digger. So if you are in the vetting process of the gold digger, just understand if a girl is being too nosy in your financial situation and in your business, it means cut her off right away. Cut her off right away. I understand there are a lot of guys, and there's been my clients who, to validate themselves, they're telling her, oh, I earn this much, I make this much. And that is extremely stupid. That is extremely stupid. What you're basically doing is you're laying all the cards on the floor for her to read and for her to manipulate you. So at that point, I would strongly suggest cutting it off is the right decision. Now, there was one time I was dealing with a gold digger. This was before the knowledge of game, I think around 10 to 12 years back. And I spent a lot of money on this girl. A lot of money according to me at that time because I was on a pocket money. And guys, I took her out for lunches, I took her out for dinners, I took her out, around the city, maybe to good parties. At that time, there was some incident that happened. I needed a phone recharge immediately, maybe like $100 or like $50. And I asked her for that money. Hey, why don't you give me like $100? I just want to get my recharge done. I don't have any cash on me. I have to go to the ATM. It's 10 minutes away. And the girl at that time, she just bluntly says, no, I'm not going to give you any cash. Why don't you just go to the ATM and get your cash? Now, I realized at that point, what the fuck is happening? I took this girl out for lunches, dinners. I never asked a single penny. And guys, this is what happens if you don't know game. This is what happens when you think everyone is a nice person. And that's what happened with me, right? So I definitely canceled this girl out of my life. And this situation ever happens with you, you have to understand gold diggers are always going to be ungrateful. They're always going to be ungrateful because they're used to getting things their way. All right, they're used to getting things their way. They're used to getting things easy. Men showering them with gifts, and they don't value it at all. They'll be extremely ungrateful. They will not even value you at all because all their underlying intention is how much can they squeeze off you. All right, that's all their underlying intention. Now, another way to spot a gold digger is when you're having a relationship or when you're even casually dating some girl and you have to celebrate something. She's always going to push you for the most expensive and exclusive places because at the end of the day, she doesn't value your relationship that much. What she values is a new experience, going out to a more premium place, and she knows that she can get this when you're celebrating something, whether it's your birthday, whether it's your first month anniversary, first week anniversary, whatever it is. All right, whatever it may be, And if you're celebrating something, she's always going to push you towards a more expensive option. And even if you don't have the money, she knows your financial situation, she's still going to give you a slight encouragement or a slight motivation to go towards the most expensive option, because not because she wants you to experience it, but because she wants to experience it, and this gives her an opportunity to experience that. And all the celebrations are going to be expensive places, expensive vacations, and expensive gifts. Now, another thing I realized is a gold digger is always going to be obsessed about your social status. She's going to be obsessed with men with high social status, and you can see that, like, if you're talking to a girl and all she's talking about is guys who have high social status, and maybe she doesn't even have any friend who has low social capital, or any friend from school, she's not carrying forward that relationship because the guy has low social status, and she's basically climbing a ladder. That's what gold diggers do, all right? They climb the status ladder from men to men. They leash on from men to men. So maybe she's dating someone, she meets another high value guy, she jumps onto him, and she meets another high value guy, then she'll jump onto him. So they're always going to be obsessed about your social status. And once you notice this in a girl, it's time to cut her off, because she definitely is a gold digger. Now guys, if you really want to cut off the gold diggers, you want to increase your options, you want more options, you want to build your online dating profile, you want to know exactly what goes on behind building the top 1% online dating profile, all you need to do is click on the pinned comment below, download the free ebook, put in your name and your email, and you'll get 5 free ebooks on your email. And this ebook is going to help you with online dating. It's going to make your online dating experience a wonderful one. Now, another thing I want you to know is when you're out on a date with a gold digger, you have to observe her behavior. You have to observe how she's acting with her superiors and how she's acting with people who she believes are inferior to her. All right. And this you can do anywhere. Maybe you're going out on a bar or out on a date. And as I already mentioned, I went on a date with that girl in Ophelia, right? And with that girl, I just realized when she was talking to the waiter, she was being extremely rude to him, right? But when she's talking to me, when she's talking to the manager or maybe a guy, in the club or in the bar, she's got to be a little bit more nicer than she's going to be to the waiter. And that's what gold diggers do, because the people who she doesn't need, the people who she cannot get any benefit of, they're of no need to her. And the people who have higher status, who have more power, more money, she's going to lash on to them. She's going to be extremely polite to them. And the behavior is going to be like a split personality. She's going to completely change when she's talking to someone inferior, and she's going to completely switch when she's talking to someone higher above. And if she's a smart gold digger, she might even pretend in front of you to be extremely nice. But at the end of the day, that's going to be her behavior. And if you're a guy who values yourself, if you're a guy who wants to learn this skill, who doesn't want to get trapped with gold diggers, hop on a call with my team and let's see how we can help you change your dating life this year. This is your coach Arnav, and I hope to see you in the field.